Hello, welcome back Thriftism viewers. We're going through a gluten-free, unrefined as possible brownie today. Still going to be just as indulgent and delicious as other brownies, but hopefully better for you. Starting with our base, we have pinto beans. Now these are prepared from a dry batch, so they'll take a couple of hours of boiling. If you're in a pinch, you can use canned beans, however they do come with a lot higher salt, so kind of plan accordingly. 2 cups of pinto beans. I have 1 cup already in our food processor here. We're using the Ninja food processing system. You can use a stand-up mixer, stand-up blender. If you don't have any of those, just use a fork and kind of mash them in a bowl the old-fashioned way. It's going to take you a little bit more effort, a little bit more time, but you'll get the same product in the end. For our liquid ingredients, we have 3 large eggs and 2 tablespoons of oil. Today we're using the extra virgin olive oil, however you can use a coconut oil, you can use a Crisco, you can use a butter fats, just 2 tablespoons of fat basically. Choose which one's healthier, which one aligns better with you. For our sweetness, we're bringing ingredients as honey, 1/3 cup. Now you can use any other sweetness that you want to bring to the table. Honey is going to be better because it's a more complex sugar. It's not going to give you that big spike in your blood sugar. A little bit healthier, keeps you full longer. Other ones include like a guava nectar would be another complex sugar to use. We have a 1/3 cup cocoa powder. We're using a 1/2 cup today. Now a standard recipe would typically call for chocolate chips in this scenario. We're going with the cocoa powder again, less sugar. You still get that rich chocolatey taste. Touching back on those refined ingredients, that's another great reason why to use beans as your base. Not only are they gluten-free, but because flour is such a high processed ingredient, you typically lose a lot of those nutrients. Beans are a great source of protein, fiber, magnesium, potassium, all of those wonderful micronutrients. Lastly, our flavors followed up here with vanilla to taste. I suggest starting with 2 tablespoons and going from there depending on how much you like vanilla. We'll bring all of these in here. I suggest leaving the beans for last to kind of create a little bit of a sandwich. Combine our eggs, bring in our cocoa powder, honey in on top of this. All while you're preparing this in the food processor, you should have your oven set to 350 degrees, so it's nice and preheated. Prepare a standard brownie pan, greased. You can use your typical fat. Another one would be another use for coconut oil. We'll shoot in a little bit of vanilla here to taste. We really enjoy the vanilla flavor, so we're not afraid of adding too much, especially if you have an imitation. You're going to need to use a little bit more to get that robust flavor in there. We'll cap it off with the rest of our beans, throw on the lid, and we'll blend until smooth. Alright, once you've achieved a well-ground consistency, you can see that there's still a little bit of chunkiness to it, but that will cook out in the baking process. You'll want to transfer this over to your brownie pan. Once you've got the main portion of it off there, you want to pull the blades out. Try and get as much off of that as we can. Get the rest out of the jar here. So you'll want to throw this again into a 350 degree oven. All oven times do vary. It depends on the type of pan you have as well. If you have a metal tin, expect it to cook a little bit faster, just because you have a little bit thinner edges around it. Heat up, conduct that heat a little bit better than a glass does. But I suggest checking on it at about 15 minutes, and you can kind of check from there, again using just a standard toothpick or butter knife until it comes back clean. We'll take this over to the oven here, throw this in, try and do a middle to upper rack just so you don't get a burn on the bottom, and we'll check back in 20 minutes. Hopefully you'll enjoy these wonderful brownies and check back in for next recipe.